Is editor-in-chief of Black Expressions Book Club, an award-winning book club and the largest African-American club in the nation. She's been named among the 50 most powerful African-Americans in publishing. Guess what? She's also a Bronx native, and she's here to talk with us about her new book, Sistergirl Devotion. Miss Carol Mackey, it's a pleasure and an honor to have you here.
Yes, hi Darren.
Hi,
great to be here. Thank you for
you.
inviting me.
Thank you, thank you. And as we know, as I said to our audience at the beginning, you're the author of a new book, Sistergirl Devotions. It's been out for just a little while, but for people who don't know about it, it's a mixture of faith, but then it's also a mixture of some practical things that really helps one through everyday life. Tell us about it.
Absolutely. Well, I wrote Sistergirl Devotions mostly for women, for Black women. That's who my target audience was, because we have, so many struggles. I mean, as working women, and not only corporate women, but any woman that works. And I really wanted to make the book accessible for everybody. So you didn't have to have, a big cushy job with a corner office to be able to, to love the tips and just use the tips and the advice in here. Because we all go through the same struggles and the same, angst and the same challenges.
Yeah, and I want to talk about this because you go in your book, you talk about it, and once again, Sistergirl Devotions, we'll get a better picture of it in a few seconds, but I want to talk about some of the topics that you have because I think they're quite enlightening, and it talks about, use what you got to get what you want.
Absolutely, absolutely. There are opportunities all around us. There are opportunities everywhere, and we just have to take advantage of them. That's basically what the chapter is about. It's just sometimes, things aren't going to be perfectly laid out for you. There might be you have to go around the back door sometimes to get what you want. But sometimes God places things right where, if you pray and ask Him, things are right there for you to help advance you. Advance you in your career.
When you talk about the struggles, obviously we've all got struggles. Men have struggles, women have struggles. But you try to capture some of those in the book. What were some of the key struggles that you really wanted to highlight and uplift and really bring out and give some encouragement to women about?
Well, some of the struggles are basically being a woman. Sometimes it's a little bit harder for us in the workplace because we have, the sexism issue. And if we're African American or some other race, we have maybe the racism issue. But struggles just for every woman, regardless of color or your job or anything, or just sometimes you're just trying to balance too many things. And that's another chapter that I have in the book is on setting your priorities and really not trying to be superwoman. We can't do it all. And we should just, put our priorities in order. And the book, I outlined some tips in there that I hope are helpful for the women.
I talk to friends sometimes, and I've actually talked to people I deal with that I say, sometimes our address can be one stuck place. It's a location, one stuck place. You get stuck in so many ruts in life. And with the economy being the way that it is, with the struggles being the way that they are, it's important for people to have goals.
Yes.
And I know that you talked about that too in terms of like writing the vision and making it plain and putting your goals down on paper. Talk to us about the importance of goals even in a time like this.
Well, you always have to set goals. I think you should never, regardless of the economy, regardless of where you are in life, you should always be moving forward. Because God wants us to prosper, He wants us to move forward, He wants us to excel. So we need to, continue to set goals. And when we make those goals, set new goals. So don't just stop there. It's like, oh, I'm great, I'm lovely, I have my house, I have my dog, I have my husband, I have all these things. Well, set new goals now. Because God continually wants us to advance.
Carol Mackey is our guest in studio. She's a Bronx native. Guess what? She went to Christopher Columbus High School. She just recently had a book signing at Barnes & Noble's in the Bronx on June the 5th. She's also the editor of the Black Expressions Book Club, but we are talking now about her latest book, which is Sistergirl Devotions. And when we talk about Sistergirl Devotions, there's just a couple things I wanted to ask you about the book itself. What really was the framework in going behind making the, writing this book? Because, many times people see particular areas of life where there's a gap. And you can tell basically with the intentionality of your book, if I can say, that you're definitely trying to fill that gap.
I'd say so. Actually, this book has been in my spirit for about 10 to 15 years.
Wow.
Because at work, over the course of my corporate career, it's like God put me there for a reason. That was my mission field. It wasn't in church. It wasn't anywhere else. That was my mission field. I didn't know it yet, of course, because, I'm just going through the motions and doing the things that He's asked me to do. But, here we are 15 years later, And one of my former bosses who works at my publishing house came to me, you know, because over the years I'd shared with her a lot of my testimonies and things. And she said, you know, Carol, you've had a really great collection of how God has used you, testimonies and all kinds of great things. He's used you in the marketplace. And that's a very unique area. She says, why don't you write a devotion to women? I think it would really help them. And I said, Andrea Doring is my editor. I said, you wouldn't believe this, but that's been in my spirit for like 15 years to write this type of book. But I didn't know if it would be a book or a magazine article. I knew it would be something because I wanted it to be something. I wanted to share what I've learned, bad things and good things, with other women so that they, A, won't make the same mistakes, and B, can move themselves forward in a positive way.
The problem I'm having with the book is this, is that as I read the book, and I know that you're really trying to deal with women here, but I as a male, I just find myself intrigued by the writing itself, too. You don't feel like the men can benefit from this?
Oh, the men can. And you know what? I feel so bad now because it's like men are responding so well to this book.
Absolutely.
It is uncanny. It is uncanny. Matter of fact, one of my authors said, oh, you should write a sequel, Brother Man Devotions, you know, instead of Sister Girl Devotions. So there may be a little something for the guys in here.
Got to have something for the guys, and then we got to bring you back and talk about the guys later on. But talk about the success of the book. How have things been going? I know you were on WCBS today.
Actually, no, I wasn't on CBS today. But maybe that's wishful thinking.
Yes.
If CBS is listening, here I am.
There you go. There you go. Well, what have you been doing? I know Barnes and Nobles.
Yes. I did a nice signing in the Bronx, in Co-op City area. You know, it felt good to go back to my roots, you know, so I blasted that all over Facebook. I'm going back to the Bronx, and it was really a blessing. You know, it was really a blessing. Family and friends came out, and some people that were just milling around the store, you know, had no intention. They didn't know who I was. They didn't know anything about Sister Girl Devotions. They just kind of heard me talking about it. They heard I was talking about God and about positive things, and they just sat in the audience, and they bought a book.
And you use God, the scriptures, and then you also use practical reasoning a little bit in there as well.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely.
A well-balanced mix. Share with us a little bit about the mixture and how you're able to mix all three into one.
Okay, well, you know, I'll tell you this, Darren. I like to work. I'm a worker bee. I've been working since I was 14 years old. I like to work. I like coming to work. I like contributing. I'm a giver. I have a very encouraging spirit, and I like to learn. I'm like a sponge when it comes to learning, and I'm very ambitious. So I like to, move up the ladder and go to the next level and things like that. And that's, I wanted to share that knowledge, the things that I've learned along the way with other women. So I really wanted it to be something practical. I didn't want it to be preachy. And I think I accomplished that because the feedback that I've been getting is, oh, it's great because it's not really preachy. You're not beating up on people. I says, no, I don't want to beat up on anybody.
Right.
I love you. I don't want to beat up on you. We've been beat up on enough.
Yeah, that's the truth. A lot of us have been. In the book, you talk about a couple of things, and I want to talk about managing conflicts and toxic coworkers. This is something that everybody has to deal with. And I don't know why you just said the ladies got to deal with it, but we got to deal with this too.
I know.
Toxic coworkers.
That's a crowd favorite, just so you know. That's definitely a fan favorite.
Now you know. I'm right on there. I checked that box.
Yes, because we all have them. No matter what your workplace is, whether it's McDonald's or whether it's the corner store or the gas station, or if you're, in corporate America, we all have negative people that we have to work with and have to be around. Everybody's not happy. Everybody's not positive. But you have to work with these people. So you have to find a way to kind of navigate, how their personality, maybe sometimes they're just upset about something. And you have to, that's where we as Christians, I think, come into play, because we can go and pray for that person and they won't even have to know about it. Because, we can go and just pray for them and hopefully, prayerfully see some changes in them.
I got to ask this question because I know they want me to take a break, but I got to get one more question in here. Talk about God in the workplace, because, many times you can get fired just for mentioning God in the workplace. But how do you feel about the book that you have and being able to put that into the workplace? Well,
I just feel that you have to be discreet. I think that the Lord will want us to use discretion in whatever we do, and things should be done in an orderly, godly manner. You're not passing out tracts at lunchtime, and you're not, in meetings and standing up preaching, and things like that. But, you be receptive to the Spirit. That's what I've always done, and it's always been very successful.
Got to take a quick break, but I'm going to